Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. We're going to jump into this one. It's getting late over here. We're going to start with this one from Cointelegraph. It says crypto exchange Kraken faces probe over possible securities violations report. It says the probe is reportedly looking at certain offerings that Kraken has made to United States customers that could be in breach of securities laws. So this is going to tie into this whole just shameful behavior from the SEC and Chairman Gensler, because Tony hits it on the head here. He goes, there are reports that corrupt regulator Gary Gensler and SEC are investigating Kraken. But notice how Gary never investigated FTX or Sam Bankman-Fried, even though they were doing fraud and have definitive security with the FTT token. Gary was about to give FTX a free pass. Yeah, that's until he got caught. And that's just the shady part about it. Like, why is it that they're going after that Chairman Gensler and the SEC are going after things? We'll just hit it on the head late. Like, why are you're supposed to be the cop on the beat, right? But you're not, approaching things or being proactive on things and trying to prevent frauds and scams and rug pulls, on the markets, and more importantly, on the investors that you're so-called set out to protect. You're doing things late, but then you don't even go after the biggest fraud in history. And you're having backdoor deals and conversations and meetings with them, but you can't even meet with the over 75,000 XRP investors that you heard dropping, that you and Chairman Clayton had hurt dropping the Ripple versus SC lawsuit. It's just shameful. Brian Armstrong hit something on the head here too. He goes, we're hearing rumors that the SEC would like to get rid of crypto staking in the U.S. for retail customers. I hope that's not the case, as I believe it would be a terrible path for the U.S. if that was allowed to happen. He continues, staking is a really important innovation in crypto. It allows users to participate directly in running open crypto network. Staking brings many positive improvements to the space, including scalability, increased security, and reduced carbon footprints. Staking is not a security. Here's a good primer, and he has this paradigm on here. He continues, we need to make sure that new technologies are encouraged to grow in the U.S. and not stifled by the lack of clear rules. When it comes to financial services and Web3, it's a matter of national security that these capabilities be built out in the U.S. Regulation by enforcement doesn't work. It encourages companies to operate offshore, which is what happened to FTX. Hopefully we can work together to publish clear rules for the industry and come up with sensible solutions that protect consumers while preserving innovation and national security interests in the U.S. So here's the thing, okay? I love that Brian Armstrong is posting this because it's important. There's some good and key importance here. And the big thing is, it's we don't want to drive this innovation offshores out of the U.S. Okay, it needs to be here. We need to be a dominant force within the global economy, and that's just the reality. But here's the thing: what happened when the lawsuit was dropped on Ripple and the XRP community? What happened when the SEC, sent Brian Armstrong the letter saying we're going to come after you if you start this Lend product? Where was the fight? Where were all these words at? That's the problem. It's people are so stuck on their own agenda at times, right? At times of needs, when you have people like John Deaton that were, at the forefront of the lawsuit, trying to stand up for what's right in the space and stand up for the investors that's been hurt by the lawsuit versus Ripple versus SEC. And it's crying and shouting from the rooftops for help, but no one was coming out. You weren't willing to step out of your comfort zone and help out. Quickly delist, XRP from your platform. And then it's just kind of oh, it is what it is. You can custody it with us, but you can't purchase it here. But then again, you get scrutinized and called out for having securities under an investigation of insider trading, but you don't take those off your platform. And I'm not sitting here trying to throw shade. It's just man, where was all that at when there was really a time of need? I'm glad, don't get me wrong. I'm glad Brian Armstrong's, servicing this stuff. And hopefully he just outside of these words, he's actually, pushing that narrative and that agenda, with money, getting to the proper channels, finding the good fight, kind of stepping up people like John Deaton and other people within the industry that are truly out here trying to make a difference within the space, because we see the writing on the wall and we know where the space is going. Or we have, I guess you could say, a good understanding of the capabilities of this technology in this market. This is from Riz XRP says, ETH is effed in this case. ETHgate needs 32 staked ETH for a proof of stake to work. Okay, man. It's Eleanor Tarrant has said this similar thing. She kind of questioned Brian Armstrong, well, what about ETH? Obviously, ETH migrating to proof of stake. Obviously, here we have the 32 staked ETH, right, for the network to keep running. Who knows, man? It seems just Bill Hinman's Ethereum free pass speech. It's like, you got the free pass. So who knows if they're going to come after him? Obviously, there was some speculation of, oh, now the SEC and Gary Gensler are going to come after ETH once it converted from proof of stake to, or excuse me, from proof of work to proof of stake. But, nothing has come out from that. And I don't want any ill will on ETH. I hodl ETH. I'm a big advocate of it. But, like we say in this community, we just want a level playing field. We want to know what the rules are, clear rules. So companies, blockchain companies, these digital assets, they know how to abide by the rules to flourish and grow and, continue to harness that innovation and solve real world problems. That's all we're focused on. But I think he has a point here, man. Like, if staking's supposed to be banned and all that stuff, what's going to happen to ETH there? The ETH network. Coming over here, this is from Library. Responding to Brian Armstrong's tweet, says, it's increasingly obvious that there is a coordinated effort among government agencies to destroy cryptocurrency in the U.S. The question is whether those with the resources will wake up and fight before it's all over. I mean, couldn't have said it better. I mean, obviously, I know I put this on my tabs here, but I totally forgot that I put this on here, and I was just talking about that. Like, it's more than just words. We have Congressman Tom Emmer and the like, talking about a new day's coming, but it's like, it's all been words. What about like Hester Pierce from the SEC? All these words, great words to think that you're on our side and that you understand, but it's like, they're only words. Where's the actions? And with respect to, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, what they're actually doing, but it's like, we haven't really seen much. It's literally been words. Oh, maybe they sent them a letter too. I think Congressman Tom Emmer and a couple others have sent a letter over to Chairman Gensler, but it's like, you're not putting them in the hot seat. You're not asking the questions. I mean, even when we had the ability to ask him hard questions to figure out what the heck he was doing, he was sent an email prior to and given suggestion of how to answer questions. And they were wondering, is this okay? We don't want you to be flustered, or shaken by this. But it's like, okay, well, how is that not conflict of interest? How is that not just blatant corruption? I mean, if any one of us were to act the way these government officials are acting, we would be locked up in a heartbeat. And this thing it's not like it's a secret. It's out in the open. We've been talking about it on this channel and in the community. It's almost laughable, as sad as it is. It really is. This is from Mr. Huber, formerly known as Stefan Huber. And before I read it, he puts up this article from Cointelegraph and says, consensus founder bullish on Ethereum falling crypto winter performance. And look, it says consensus founder. We know Joe Lubin is the co-founder of Ethereum too. Okay, you might be the consensus founder, but you're the co-founder of Ethereum. So he puts up this. Let me see if I can come out and just kind of show this, so you can kind of pause it or you can go and read it. He has some highlighted stuff, kind of talking about staking, Shanghai upgrade, lending, just all the terms that Chairman Gensler talks about that, we have to protect investors from that. And he goes, Mr. Huber goes, quote, we built scalability, usability. Now we can build more use cases. ETH Foundation developers are aiming for March 2023 date for withdrawals, promise of profits, third-party promoters, central development of basic functions, building the ecosystem, lending, staking. It's all there. And literally, like, if you come in here, the verbiage is there. And on this channel, on the channels like DII, talk about words mean things, right? And it's so true, especially when it comes to this space. When you hear like Joe Lubin and, the other, Ethereum maxis, if you will, back in 2017, 2018, 19, and so on, what was their big theme that they were trying to push? Decentralization. They would try to throw it in as much as possible because they were having backdoor closed meetings with, SEC officials. And that was one of their big, I guess you could say, filtering processes. Like, this is going to determine whether digital assets is a security or not. If it's fully decentralized and fully built out, it's not a security. So that's why they were pushing that agenda. But knowing that during the early days, when it was the ICO, that they had some hidden wells, hidden people that invested, right? But you go after companies like Ripple and the digital asset XRP when there was no ICO. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. I talk about how it's almost fascinating, just the blatant corruption, right? And they think we're dumb and we don't know, but it's out there. And thank God we have platforms like this to utilize and spread information, and it's here forever. Here's the thing. The day that someone really gets the facts, develops an amazing documentary, I am going to be in awe. That is something that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking to see it all put together in just such a beautifully written and scripted documentary. I'm looking forward to that day. I will have a hard copy, a digital copy, everything. And I'm going to make sure that some of my favorite people within the industry sign it as well. That's how excited I am about it all. Anyways, we're going to move on. This is Eleanor Terrett responding to, did I put this up here? Yeah, responding to HODL law here. It says, let me click in here. It says, hashtag ETH deck update. An expected SEC filed a motion to dismiss alleged lack of subject matter jurisdiction to preserve its ability to continue to keep secret its position on whether SEC will target Ethereum as a security. So you have the defendant's memorandum here, and then Eleanor Terrett says, while this is not surprising it's actually kind of mind-blowing. The SEC is being sued to disclose its position on ETH in the interest of business and investors, but instead of being transparent, it's filing a motion to dismiss so it can carry on its regulation by enforcement. Win protection. Yeah, when's the new day coming? You have our chairman Gensler on multiple videos talking about investor protection, transparency, compliance, come in and talk to us. But it's like they can't even do it themselves. Chairman Gensler can't even answer the question of whether what he believes or what the SEC believes that the status of Ethereum is. They only talk about Bitcoin. They say we don't talk about one coin or one digital asset, but you do. Just when you're called out on it, you don't want to. Because obviously they know it'll destroy their case. Because the truth is the truth. The truth shall set you free. It really shall. Hopefully, all of this shady stuff in regards of like this, the William Hinman emails and documents and all that stuff. I hope that stuff is suppressed or sealed to where no one will ever know what happens outside of the people that saw it. I hope that's something that services. I think we need that in our governments. Moving forward, I think we need to build trust again, from the governments and the people. And I think that's one way of doing it, just getting all that out there. Obviously, it probably won't happen. There are probably some big, powerful people that are all involved in it. Because us, the Twitter sleuths and the big researchers within our community. If they get information, they're just going to keep diving, keep going down those rabbit holes and just expose so much. So we'll see. I hope none of that really is suppressed. I hope we do get to see those documents and those emails. Continuing on here, this is a video that Digital Asset Investor had put up. And I don't think I'm going to play it. It's about 2 minutes long. I'm already 12 minutes here. But it says, now that the SEC / ETH versus Ripple an XRP suit is coming to an end, I think it's important to remind Congress and everyone else why an American company and XRP holders the SEC is supposed to protect have been harmed continuously for over 2 years. New day coming anytime soon. So let me come over here. I don't want to play it, but you remember this conversation? I think it's Tim Draper and Chairman Gensler come on, let me play it. Okay. Anyways, it was, Chairman Gensler and Tim Draper, and he was Tim Draper was literally telling Chairman Gensler how things were going to roll out, talking about how, the incumbents, they're going to, try to get the government officials to slow down, set some lawsuits, in a sense, do all these things, to get the media involved, get their government buddies involved to try to hinder and stop this thing from happening, meaning crypto, XRP, Ripple from happening, right? And then they're going to get to a point where it's like, oh, we got to deal with this thing. And then it's like, okay, slow it down so we can, or turn the ship around so we can get on and get a bigger piece of the pie and control the narrative. Like all those things Tim Draper was telling Chairman Gensler as he's sitting here trying to kiss the incumbent's butt and, and protect them and defend them. Tim Draper hit it on the head. Everything that's been happening is what we've been seeing just alone within the Ripple versus SEC case. And that's not counting Library, Dragon Chain, other platforms that are nothing like FTX and Celsius and Voyager and none of that. Literally played out verbatim. And we're all aware of it. It's shameful, man. John Deaton has something here. He goes, Hester Pierce admitted that her colleagues at the SEC performed a shorthand analysis and focus on the token itself instead of circumstances surrounding the offering and sale of the token. For example, the contract, the transaction, or scheme. In my amicus brief in Ripple case, I said the SEC was analytically lazy in its so-called shorthand constituted unconstitutional shortcut, violating 76 years of case law. We must fight the SEC overreach in its attempt to exercise jurisdiction in secondary markets, which man, thank God we have John Deaton, stepping up in that library case and then getting that judge to, get the SEC to agree that, hey, the secondary sales of library isn't a security. That was so huge. That was a massive win. And obviously it's going to play a pivotal role in how things move forward in regards to litigation within secondary market sales and the token and the digital asset itself, which is huge. Obviously, especially when it comes to the Ripple versus SC case. Switching up real quick, this from Cointelegraph. It says U.S. bank giant BNY Mellon says digital assets are here to stay, despite most of the cryptocurrency market being down 60% from all-time highs. The digital asset industry is here to stay. So this isn't anything new to us. This is just huge, though. Just another variable that helps strengthen the narrative of like why we believe the writing's on the wall. We're not idiots. So you can't scare us away. We're going to continue to accumulate and buy the dip, DCA, whatever, whatever your strategy is. We're going to continue to hodl strong and continue to stay involved within this industry because we see the writing on the wall. So this isn't a surprise, but it's huge, though. And I wanted to end on this one from XRP Crypto Wolf. And this is to the XRP community. This is where my heart and soul is. It says, it feels like the XRP community is getting frustrated with the Ripple lawsuit. Still not ending yet. We've waited this long. So what's a few more months? Never give up. And I 100% agree, man. Like, we are closer to the end than we are the beginning. Just put that into perspective. We got to keep marching. But that's what I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at CryptoIsKey1. I really appreciate your support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.